Hey guys, welcome back to the Fun Indian Guy channel. In today's video, we are talking about one more innovation case study which can be inspirational for all of us in our different projects which we take up. We are talking about this one particular product which was launched in Mexico on Kickstarter, Magnus, the Magic Play Couch. We'll talk about what they do and how this whole thing works. But this particular campaign was started on Kickstarter, a crowdfunding platform, back on 7th of April this year, which was basically 6 weeks ago. The campaign got over yesterday and they got funded way beyond their goal. As you can see here, they wanted the crowdfunding of 50,000 Mexican dollars, which is about 2,500 US dollars, but they ended up making 25,862, which is about 1.25 million US dollars within 6 weeks, and about 3,471 people backed this project or ordered this particular product. And that's quite crazy. One campaign on Kickstarter, you have like 2,500 goal and you make 1.25 million, and now they will have to produce it and deliver it and all those things. But in today's video, we are going to talk about what is this product, what kind of problem they are trying to solve, and for that we will dive into 3 levels of design proposed by amazing Don Norman. We'll talk about him as well. With that said, let me quickly introduce myself so we can go ahead and start exploring. So my name is Suyog, also known as the Fun Indian Guy. I'm a creative strategy innovation consultant working with a lot of clients all over the globe. I'm also a service designer, filmmaker, musician, podcaster, and a founder of an online innovation lab called Futuring Now. And this is the Fun Indian Guy channel where we talk about creativity, design, innovation, and lifestyle. And as I said, in this particular segment, we go on hunting down amazing case studies from across the globe, as well as some good practices when it comes to innovation, so it can play the role of inspiration in your journey, in your life, in your ongoing projects, in your startup, in your student life, depending on your context. So that's the goal of this particular video. With that said, let's just start talking about Magnus, the magnetic play couch. Let's go. So as you see on the screen already, this is their Kickstarter campaign page and they have everything jotted down. We'll first initially play their video, because the video and the storytelling which is there itself is so amazing that we will instantly understand what is this whole product about. So let's go and do that.
Hello, I'm Adrian, and this is Magnus, the couch that's not a couch. Let me explain. This is a couch. Well, to you and me at least. But to Danny, it's a cave that must be explored. The thing is, what looks like an awesome cave to Danny looks like a mess to everyone else. That's why we created Magnus.
Nice.
The couch that's not a couch. It's a spaceship, or a fort, or a mountain. Magnus is whatever your kids imagine it can be. But what makes it really special is magnets.
So that was like the first half of the video, and I think we understood what sort of problem they are trying to solve. And I think I can relate to it pretty much because of my context of growing up and doing all these things on my bed or on the couch in the living room, playing with cushions and pillows and making forts and tanks and doing small wars with my friends. So I had that kind of a context, so it completely makes sense and I completely understand the pain point and the problem they are trying to solve. But I really like the storytelling which they had in this particular video, because it's then relatable and it's easy to understand. Let's quickly jump through the whole website and see what other things they are providing. So we saw the video. Magnus, the name is again about the magnet, so makes complete sense. The couch that's not a couch, so you can have endless things which you can make with it, and it's also, it doesn't also look too let's say childish, so you can potentially keep it in your living room as well, though the child will see the fun in it, as the child will go ahead and play with it. So for children it makes sense, and also for adult it will make sense. So it's super stable because of the magnet, so you can do a lot of activities with it in infinite combination, just like Lego blocks, right? You can go ahead and make so many things, and it's like enlarged Lego blocks, so you are really making things which you can play inside or on top of. So that's very interesting. Then a magnet plays a very crucial role in this whole situation, because it can keep those things together. As if you have played such games when you were a child, you will understand things used to fall down quite often. So and most of the times we did not have like very square pillows, so the pillows which have like the bulge in between, they always used to topple on one another. So this magnet and the design will play a lot of role in playing, and that makes it interesting. Again, it can be a good utility product as well, so you can turn it into a bed or a couch. So in general, a really good product, a really good problem which people can relate to, and a really good problem solving. It's not like something extremely gadgety or techy or nothing like a rocket science. It's a simple design, but they are solving it meaningfully with the right intention, and that makes this particular product different and very appealing and interesting for kids. And not even kids, like even when I looked at it, I felt like even I could use that particular couch in so many ways and keep it very interesting, that it can also play as props in design thinking workshops. So there are many applications of such kind of a furniture, which is not actually a furniture but also a play thingy. So that's good. But as I said, to understand why people must have liked it or why the popularity grew so much within 6 weeks, and to explore that, we're going to jump to our drawing board and understand why did people like it, and let's quickly analyze. For that, let's jump to the guy himself first, Mr. Don Norman. If you belong to design world, or if you have studied or read about the design world, you must have came across this person for sure. He's a super famous dude in design, has done so much work for so many years, created so many different theories and methodologies and principles, and wrote such amazing books like The Design of Everyday Things and Emotional Design, where we talked about, or where he talks about the emotional aspect of design and how people perceive it. So he has been a great resource in the design world. So there is this one particular TED talk of his which was broadcasted back in 2009, the 3 ways the good design makes you happy. And to analyze the situation with Magnus, we'll come back to, or we'll take up this particular theory or principle and explore it further. So what are these 3 levels of good design? So the 3 levels of good design is, the design should be visceral, behavioral, and reflective. We'll talk about each of these aspects now, but these are the 3 things which kind of make you feel good about a product or a service, or make you feel happy about something. So let's jump into visceral design first. So what does a visceral design mean? The first impression of a design, both in terms of how the user perceives the product and how it makes the user feel, is called as, or it's basically the visceral design. So the first impression, whenever you look at a product, for example, this particular couch, for instance, when you look at it, how do you feel about it? How do you see yourself using it potentially without even using it? Is the first impression which you have on your head. So it's very important to understand from a producer or design perspective that you make sure that the design is visceral, and people who potentially be using it should feel that there is a lot they could do with this product. So that's like the first thing. Then the next thing is behavior. What does behavioral design means? The experience of the product in use, basically the user experience part. So UX design, the whole field which talks about how the experience should be, is basically fundamentally part of the behavioral design. And that means how do you use the product, like the kind of visceral things which you had in your head, where you had some sort of expectations or you visualize yourself using it. Are those expectations matched? And how the actual experience of using a product is, or a service is part of the behavioral design. And that's where the UX comes in. So you understand how kids can use it. Even on the website, we could see different ways kids can use the product with. So that's the experience part. Like, how does it feel to use these things for kids? At the same time, for such products, the primary audience is going to be the parents, because they are going to go and buy it. So for them, how do they feel about this product? How their experience is with this product? Maybe they will have much more cleaner life, not so messy with all the pillows and cushions going around. They can have much more structured and neat interior or rooms, and they can also leverage the creativity of their kids. So for them also, the behavioral design is going to be very important. Maybe even the parents and kids can spend time together building these things and playing around these things. So that's the experience part of the product. So let's go back to the board. So that's the behavioral design. And if you want to also learn more about it, or if you want to read more about it, you can first of all watch the video or read this particular article, which is on Interaction Design Foundation, which is kind of, they're boiling down these 3 aspects. Let's go to the third aspect of design, or the level of design, which is reflective design. This one's very interesting. Users' reflections about the product, both before, during, and after the use. Reflection is how do you feel about using the product. And sometimes it's not even about the usability. It's sometimes just about what kind of feedback it gives you, or what kind of status you gain through the product, or how the product looks like, or the service that you are using looks like in front of others. So that is very important when it comes to reflective design. Another part which is important is what people talk about when they have this product or service with their peers or with their friends. So that is also a heavy part of reflective design. And here, as you can see, basically this is the founder Adrian and his wife, and both of them created this Magnus. But here you can see the kind of happiness they're having building different things with the couch. And this is basically what the parents will go and talk to other parents about, or even kids will share these stories of having this couch with their friends. And that's the reflective part of design. That's what they got out of it to talk about. And there is one more interesting thing which was in the article. The reflective level mediates the effect of the behavioral level. Users may well put up with difficulties and shortcomings in the usability of the smartwatch because they believe they will gain other non-functional benefits from it. This is the Apple Watch example. So even if the first generation Apple Watch had a lot of shortcomings, it was not on point, the usability was very poor, but the fact that the person owns the Apple smartwatch, the first generation Apple smartwatch, gets a lot of other passive benefits, like going around with their friends and having the watch on their hand gives them a different sort of satisfaction and happiness. And that's kind of the reflective design, where if there is a story to tell about a product or service, and if the story is so hard hitting and so close to the user, they will potentially overlook the shortcomings of the product and service itself. So that's the third level of design we have to consider while creating a product or service. So let's quickly see how the Magnus tick marks all three of them. Visceral design, you saw the video, you saw the storytelling, you saw the product itself, and it felt that I could potentially use it for myself or for my kids. So that was visceral part of it. Behavioral design, they already showed you so many potential ways of using the product, and kids going around and kids having fun with it, and even the parents having fun with it, that you also got convinced without even experiencing it. Still, it's part of visceral, but you could still sense the behavioral aspect of the design. And while observing this video, you could already think about the stories you can share with your friends, the stories you can build with your kids, the stories kids can go ahead and tell to their friends. You already could start thinking about them, and that's the reflective design. And that's why I think all these three things or three levels of design were taken care of very well by Magnus, and that could be potential reason behind its success beyond just good product design or solving problem, because it really holds all these three things together. And you can also apply these three things in your project, in your product, in your startup, to make sure that we design our product and service in a way that all these three things can benefit the overall progress or development of the project. So those were the three things, or the three design levels created by Don Norman, and we explored it with amazing case study of Magnus. I hope you found some sort of value in this particular episode, and if you did, I'll be super duper happy about that. You can also go ahead and put a comment down below about what do you think about this particular episode or the learnings which we shared through this one. With that said, guys, I'll catch you in the next case study video, or a good practice video, or a design tool video, or an innovation tool video, or on our podcast, which is called as Daily Ish Pod, where we again talk about creativity, design, innovation, and lifestyle. And matter of fact, this week we are going to hit the 100th episode by the Friday. So I'll be very happy to even host you in our podcast, where we do a lot of amazing idea jams in the podcast itself. So with that said, guys, take care, stay safe, and I'll talk to you soon. Ciao.